Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and with me today, by phone, we have Dave of the Smokin Butts and Tappin Ash Barbecue and Cigar Crew. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing wonderful, buddy. How about you?
I'm doing all right. You know, I'm sitting out on the patio. I'm about to have a cigar and talk to you about movies. So, I mean, I don't know how this is gonna. I don't know how this could get any better. So,
I know.
Yeah. So, anyway, well, you and I, through total circumstance, circumstance or happenstance. That's the word I was looking for. We will be smoking the same cigar. And that cigar is, let me bring up the notes about that cigar so that I actually know what the hell I'm talking about. That cigar would be the Alter Q from Oscar Valladares out of Honduras. And this cigar, it is a 6x52 Toro featuring an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, Honduran binder, and Honduran filler. This was released in July of 2018. And I'm going to give you just a little bit of history about that cigar that you're about to fire up. So, I met Oscar at an event at the Hill Cigar Company that would have been probably, I'd say, July maybe of 2019, somewhere in that time frame. And he came through the St. Louis area, did an event there, and I saw the box of Alter Qs. And for those of you who aren't familiar with this cigar, you know, Google the packaging. This packaging is so cool. So the long and short of it is, the packaging, the box, is designed to look like this stone altar that talks about the Mayan Empire in Copan. And so this altar, all around it, it's in a museum, and Oscar saw it. And basically, the long and short is, on this altar, it has representations of the 16 different kings that ruled over, the Mayan, empire. And so, not only is the box a replica of that altar, but each cigar on the band has one of the 16 kings. And so, the cigars are all the same. However, I have number 11, whose name is Butts Chan. B-U-T-Z, Chan. So I have Butts Chan. And which one do you have?
I have Kanik Yaks Kook Mo.
Look at you. So, which number is he?
He is number 1.
Oh, wow. You're going with the first one. So that's the thing. Each cigar represents the 16 Copan rulers, and they're placed in the same order that they appear on the monument. So your guy was number 1, and my guy was number 11. And anyway, so as I said, I've been kind of sorting through my humidor, and I found these Alter Q cigars. And I bought this box in July of 2019. I've essentially sat on it for 5 years. Hadn't smoked any of them, and I was bringing down a whole bunch of cigars for you and Scott for the brisket, and so I figured I would split the box and give you guys some, and I would keep some, and then tonight I asked you what you're smoking, and you showed me, and I said, by God, I have one of those.
Well, that worked out perfectly, didn't it?
It really did. It really did. So now it's time to cut the cigar, and the official cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2, guyscigars.com. 2 Guys have been around for 40 years, according to the copy that Dave gave me. And they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows 2 Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You will not be sorry. Family owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. Dave, what more could you want?
Nothing more.
I mean,
that's all I would want.
That's really all it comes down to, is just have good prices, have a good selection, and when, you have to talk to somebody, actually talk to you,
Yes.
Have somebody there to talk to you.
The only thing that could be better is if the store was in my hometown.
This is true. So please go to twoguyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you, and that's the number 2, guyscigars.com. And with that, it's time that we go ahead and cut the cigar. And I just nuked myself.
Already?
Well, I had some stuff in the cutter. I was driving today, and it appears as though the last time I used the cutter, I did not clear the chamber before I just did the little cutty noise thing here. So that's on me. What? Hello? Are you there? Well, apparently I have lost Dave. I don't know why. We will try to get him back. Are you there?
Here I am.
Oh, weird. Okay.
The stupid cat jumped up on me.
Oh.
And I think I switched the output.
Ah, stupid cat.
It also caused me to crack the cap on the cigar pretty badly.
Oh, no. Do you have
but
another?
I'm going to see what we can do.
Do you have another one?
I might have to run in and get it.
In all fairness, I'm trying to get the footband off with the giant picture of Butts Chan.
Dude,
and,
it was a struggle for me too.
And I have torn the outer wrapper in doing so. So this is going to be a fun experiment here. You with your cracked cap, and me with the torn wrapper section there. So yeah, such as
I'm
life.
not sure if mine's going to recover. It's definitely not. It's just falling apart now.
Well,
so I need about 2 minutes to go in and just grab a random cigar.
You know what? There you go. You do that, and I will talk about fucking good coffee. So
okay, be right back.
There you go. Hurry up. I don't know if I have 2 minutes of fucking good in me. That's not what she said. Anyway, so fucking good coffee. You head on over to fuckinggoodcoffee.com and you can check out all the different blends that Nick has there. He's got something for every coffee palate, from the light roast to the dark roast to, all the different kinds of coffees. He, as a cigar smoker, he has my monthly cigars as well. As a cigar smoker, he is conscious of the desire to pair your coffee with your cigars. And so, all of his blends will pair nicely with coffee. However, he does have the lounge blend that, pairs really nicely with pretty much every cigar. It's a great all-around, coffee. So if you are a coffee drinker and you're looking for something good to enjoy on the patio with your cigar, or maybe you just want that pick-me-up in the morning, get some fucking good coffee. Don't be a fucker. Drink fucking good. And it sounds like Dave has returned.
I have returned.
There you go. So, what did you grab?
I'm back. I grabbed an Oscar Valladares, Heaven and Hell.
Okay, well, you're still smoking Oscar. You just gave up on the Alter Q, so.
I did. I didn't want to dig too much. I know I have 2 more of those somewhere, but.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I am firing up my... Well, you know what? Cold draw. Cold draw. Heavy cedar on the Alter Q, which makes sense. It's been chilling inside my cedar-lined humidor for, 5 years. So it's definitely going to have...
sense.
Definitely going to have some cedar on the cold draw there. I am really wondering how this thing is going to burn when I get to
I don't know.
When I get to that one spot, because I keep trying to tamp the wrapper down with some spittle, and boy, it just keeps wanting to pop right back up. So I might be halfway through this cigar before I'm actually enjoying it. So we'll see.
It happens.
It does, and that's the thing. I could very easily, stop this recording, go get a different one, blah blah blah, and all that. But you know what? Why? We all encounter this. So
Exactly.
let's just roll with it. I mean, you went and got another one, but whatever. Such is life.
Yeah, I was really gonna try, but it was not gonna happen.
Yeah. So what have you been up to, buddy?
Man, I've been back in resale mode
Uh-oh.
lately. So we've
Yeah.
been having some little hunting, some toy hunting, and video game hunting and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And been having a little bit of luck there. It's starting to pick back up.
Okay.
People are starting to come back to their senses. A while back, there was like a news article or something on television talking about the video game, like vintage video game boom going on.
Yeah.
So everybody thought all their stuff was worth $1 million, which
It's
in
not.
all actuality, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have like the best of the best, super clean. And then, it's a lot of work to find the right buyer.
Well,
Yeah.
that is
Typically,
that is everything, man. I mean,
Yeah.
in terms of what something is worth what somebody is willing to pay for it.
Yep.
I mean, I'm finding out that with these fucking houses. It's like there's plenty of houses I've encountered where it's like, yeah, I'd throw down 150 on that, and it ends up selling for like 180. So I mean, it's all a matter of what. Oop, I just tore that wrapper even more. What somebody is willing to pay for it. So
exactly. You know what I don't understand while we're on that topic?
okay.
It seems like it would have gone away by now, but I don't understand how the people buying homes now, since everything's, come back to normal, sort of, in everyday life, ish. Like, how are they financing a house that's costing so much more than the value?
Dude,
Like,
it's fucking crazy. This is a weird world we're living in. I was talking with my realtor, and she was saying that the amount of cash offers that are coming through are unbelievable. And it's like, and she even said to me, she's like, who are these people that have this kind of money to be able to throw down a cash offer on a house? But it's happening. So I don't know what is going on. Like, the whole market is so screwed up, And she and I were talking, and because it was one of those things, I was kind of like under the assumption, like, oh, I bet it's a really great time to be a realtor right now, But it's very stressful, apparently, because if she's working with a buyer like me, I'm getting beat out constantly, and I'm having to make concessions in order to stay within my budget and things of that nature, and she doesn't like seeing that. But then on the flip side, if she's working with a seller, well, the sellers, sometimes they put a provision in saying, they'll collect offers for 5 days, and then after 5 days, they'll consider all the offers and pick the winner, right? Well, what's happening is after like a day, maybe the seller gets an offer that's like just so far over asking price that they're like, we want that one. We want to take that offer. And she's like, well, you said you were going to do 5 days worth of time for offers to come in. And they're like, yeah, but we don't want that guy going out and finding something else and pulling the offer. So we're going to go ahead and just scrap that, and we're going to just accept that offer. So now she has to reach out to all the other realtors that have people lined up to do walkthroughs of that house and tell them, you know what? They're pulling it. They're calling it early. So now all these other realtors are getting pissed off. The buyers are getting pissed off because they didn't even get a chance to bid on it. It's just a really fucked up competitive situation going on.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, we were thinking about selling and moving just because we've outgrown where we're at. Plain and simple.
Are you buying a trailer too?
Oh, no. That would be the opposite direction that a person should naturally go.
Oh, he's gonna have opinions about this.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's what you do after the kids are gone. You don't have to work anymore.
Well,
and you can just
I guess the other option is you can, rent an apartment for the kids and live in the trailer, but whatever. Anyway.
I mean, you could.
Oh, God.
If you wanted to pay double your house payment.
I'm being such a dick right now, but
You totally are.
He knows it. He knows it's in love. Maybe. Anyway. Yeah, I get it. It's like, look, it'd be a good time if you have a house right now. It'd be a good time to consider selling and maybe trying to upgrade.
No, that's a terrible idea because if I sold my house, I wouldn't be able to afford another house. Because I paid like 70 grand for mine and it's almost paid for. And I might be able to get like 120 currently, I would guess.
Yeah.
And then what? Then I'm going right back
True.
into another mortgage
True.
for at least $100,000 for something
Oh,
similar.
dude, yeah, and that's the thing. Finding something that's $100,000 or under, it's impossible. It's just impossible.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure everybody just loves hearing my housing market update by now. So it's just,
they probably do because a lot of them are probably going through the same thing.
Maybe, I don't know. It has dominated my days like here lately. So, it's just one of those things that, yeah, it has just completely and utterly dominated my life lately. So, that's what it is. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into, well, first, before I do that, I thought better for a moment. This Alter Q, off the first third, it's very creamy, lot of cedar, ton of cedar. Super smooth retrohale. I would say this is a mild cigar. It is most definitely not very strong. Yeah. So, but very, very good.
Nice.
Very, very good.
Heck yeah, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I live in the middle of town. You've been to my house.
I have.
And right at this second, within 50 feet of me, I have a cat, 3 crows, 2 squirrels, and a deer.
God.
Like right in my yard. It's the freaking Mutual of Omaha right now.
I was going to say, what the hell do you have going on there, dude?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Well, as long as they don't start attacking, I guess. I will say last night, I had both the bullfrogs, but I also heard an owl out here again. So I may have an owl out back at my place again this summer. I didn't have one last summer, but the previous 2 years I did. So it'd be kind of cool to have an owl.
It would be. That's every man's dream to have at least a pair of hooters in the back.
All right. On that note, it's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. So I'm jumping right into the Villiger Report because Dave and I are going to
Let's do it.
We are going to be doing our ranked top 10 favorite sci-fi movies. We are nerding out tonight because, by God, it's been a long day, and I feel like nerding out. And anyway, the reason I'm jumping in right now is because aside from our top 10, Dave, I have a fuck ton of honorable mentions. This was a very, very expansive list. It was very hard to drill down to 10.
I could have easily listed 50 movies. I stopped myself at 27.
Good God.
Yeah.
I kind of put a few rules on myself, which I will discuss as we go. But yeah, I did kind of self-regulate because it's the same thing. I could have, sci-fi is such a broad genre that it could have gone in so many different directions that I had to limit it. Just had to.
Yep.
So
I tried to do the same thing. I tried to stick to as true sci-fi as I could. There's a couple exceptions, but I tried to
there are a few.
stick with.
I wouldn't say that mine are exceptions, but I think I have different subgenres of sci-fi going on. So this will be.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, this will be interesting. So, well, do you want to kick it off with your number 10?
Let's do it, man.
Go for it.
With just throw this out there. Probably aside from the top 2 or 3, any of these movies could probably be interchangeable.
Yes,
I love my whole list just as much as the next thing.
Kind of the same. I would say that my top 10, I ranked them, but it was really hard to do so because, you know, I like them all for so many different reasons. So,
I'm also going to say that a lot of these I haven't seen in many years, and I'm going off like how memorable they are to me. Like I probably need to rewatch them, but they made an impact.
I had a few like that as well. One of them is in the honorable mention category specifically because it's been a long time since I watched it, and I didn't feel as though I could speak to it. So
there we go.
All right. Well, what's your number 10? Let's get this started.
My number 10 is going to be the Butterfly Effect.
Ooh, okay.
Now
that's the one with
movie.
Kelso from 70s show. Yeah.
Ashton Kutcher's in it.
Ashton Kutcher. Okay.
Like everybody who was anybody from that time period was in it. Amy Smart was in it.
Okay.
Ethan Suplee. Like
Boy,
all kinds of
I
people.
follow him on Instagram. Holy shit, that dude is a totally different guy now.
Oh yeah.
Like
he's a beast.
He was the fat brother in My Name is Earl, for anybody who's like wondering who we're talking about. And that dude, he basically just changed his entire life, and he is fucking ripped. I mean, this guy has lost a shit ton of weight. He is at the gym. I mean, this dude is built. I mean, he looks like he could be a football player, a professional wrestler, but I mean, he's just huge. And to look at him, you're like, that's that guy? And I mean, they don't even look the same now. So anyway.
Heck yeah, man.
So good on him.
Amazing.
Good on him, you know. But anyway,
Yep,
okay,
I
I'm sorry.
need some of that motivation.
No shit. It's like, no shit. But, you know, maybe you'll have one of those little scare heart attacks, and that'll do.
I hope not.
I'm kidding, dude. That is not something to be joking about. So that is.
Jeez.
I know that was dark. I'm sorry. I went to a dark place. So, all right. So let's talk about the Butterfly Effect.
It's one of those movies that I don't 100% remember, but I remember I love the premise, how like some little small action could affect something across the world, you know, in a hugely impactful way.
Yeah.
So like, I don't really remember, but like like the saying is, you step on a butterfly on one side of the world, you cause a tidal wave on the other.
Yeah.
And so on. So like his small actions keep impacting everything adversely. So,
well, it's funny that you bring that movie up, because while my number 10 is not the Butterfly Effect, it is actually a very similar premise. My number 10 is Frequency, starring Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel, I think.
That's a good one.
Have you seen that one?
Oh, yes.
So that movie, for those people who aren't familiar with it, basically, so Jim Caviezel is the son in the present day, and Dennis Quaid is his dad, who died back in the 60s in a fire. He was a fireman. And somehow or another, through like some ham radio, you know, that somehow allows them to talk through time, Jim Caviezel starts talking to his dad back in the 60s and essentially kind of like warns him about, you know, various things, and, you know, but it causes ripples in time to where like there are unintended consequences to him doing that. And so he has to like continually keep working with his dad to fix it and whatever else. And isn't there a killer in that movie too?
Man, I don't know.
I might
It's been many years.
I might be mixing things up. But anyway, the long and short is, it's a fantastic kind of time travel movie, but not really a time travel movie. But it's super interesting. So, Frequency.
And it was the same radio, right? He was talking on his dad's radio.
He was, exactly. He was just doing it 30 years in the future.
Yep.
Yep.
Nice, very nice.
Okay. Number 9.
Okay, so my number 9, I struggled with a lot of these because, you know, I think there are other movies that would probably deserve to be on my list more than this one, but the premise of this movie, and when I watched it, it was such a beautiful looking movie. Mm-hmm. It's really stuck with me. It's The Cell with Jennifer Lopez.
I do not know that one.
You don't know that one?
No,
oh my gosh.
I do not know that one.
And, let me pull up the cast here real quick.
That is not. When did that come out?
Oh, in the late 90s,
Okay.
probably.
Okay.
Maybe
So
2000.
what's the
Yeah,
premise?
2000. So it's Jennifer Lopez and Vince Vaughn. It also has Vincent D'Onofrio in it.
Mm.
So D'Onofrio is like a serial killer.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
and they invent this machine where they can enter his mind to try to figure out a murder or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just the craziest shit ever.
Okay.
Like they go in there and he's like the devil. He's
Oh
like this
shit.
white demon in his own mind. And then like they'll meet another version of him in there and he's like all sweet and innocent and whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like really getting into some psychological stuff. And it just looks amazing, especially for the year 2000. You know, it
Mm.
was wonderful. I
All
love
right
it.
then. So The Cell. Number 9 is The Cell. So my number
Watch that.
9 is a movie from 1971. It's based on a popular novel by Michael Crichton, and it's The Andromeda Strain.
Never seen that.
Dude, The Andromeda Strain is probably. I was talking to somebody the other day about books, and I was asked like what my favorite book is, and I would say that if I was judging based on how many times I've read a book, how many times I've like used that book for like book reports and things of that nature in school, whatever else, I would have to say The Andromeda Strain is probably my favorite book. And the whole concept is that a meteorite from space crash lands in a little town in the desert, and it brought along a virus. And so this movie and the book both start with this team of scientists, because you know how Michael Crichton likes his teams of scientists. They go into the town, in full suits, contamination suits, find the meteorite, and they end up finding a baby and an old person who are both still alive, and they don't know why they're still alive. So they bring them to this facility, which is like this kind of lockdown, super secret science facility where they can, work on experimenting with this virus and whatnot in private and safety. And so the whole concept of this movie is trying to figure out the secret of this space-borne virus and why these two people survived and nobody else did, and this kind of thing. And of course, chaos ensues in the facility, and whatever. And then they find the cure, but or they find the reason that these two lived. And dude, it is a fucking amazing book. The movie is not as good as the book, but it hardly ever is. But the movie is still one of my favorite. I mean, I have it on DVD. I watch it whenever I can. This movie, it's so fascinating to me. It's just pure science, and I love it. So
Yeah,
I
I would
went.
like that. I already know.
I went with the Andromeda Strain.
Just touch on that premise, sort of. We've been watching the, I guess, final season of Sweet Tooth. Have you watched that at all?
No.
Oh, it's great, man. It's on Netflix. It's a comic book show.
Oh.
But it's
I'm not familiar with it.
Lemire is who wrote
Oh,
it.
whoa, okay. The little deer antler kid.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Okay. I was thinking the killer clown from Twisted Metal.
Oh no. No, we've been watching that and we're almost through the last season and it's pretty awesome.
Okay.
And it's a lot like that. Like that's where it's getting to figure out what's going on. Anyway.
Okay. Well, anyway,
my
number 9 was
8.
the Andromeda Strain. Your number 8.
Number 8, I'm going with Limitless with Bradley Cooper.
Is that the one with the pill?
The pill, yep. He takes the pill because he's a struggling writer.
And it opens up his mind or something,
right? Yes, exactly. It lets him use 100% of his brain. And it just kind of goes crazy from there because, you know everything. You can figure out anything. So,
I mean,
you're instantly rich from whatever.
They say that that's a thing, but I've also heard that, like, we use 100% of our brain. We just maybe aren't using all the parts at the same time.
I don't know.
That various points. I don't know. I remember this was a thing that came out. That was a really popular kind of sci-fi trope for a little while. The whole, like, I'm using 100% of my brain, and all that. And I'm so much better than all of you now. So, yeah, I like Bradley Cooper. I haven't seen that. Now, there was a show that spun off of that, wasn't there?
Yes, there was, and it was equally as badass, and it got canceled early,
Oh,
of course, because all the good ones do.
yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
having.
that guy was really cool too, and I think Bradley Cooper was in the show, and he was like, "Don't take this, man."
Mm,
So it
I
was kind of
thought
a continuation.
I was gonna say I thought I remember hearing that he made an appearance in the show and basically told him like, "This is not a good idea," you know.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
okay, okay. Well, very cool. So my number 8 is now we're starting to get into what I would call the the obvious ones. You know, Frequency and the Andromeda Strain were my kind of dark horses. You know,
Okay.
but now we're getting to the obvious ones, and this is where I'm going to put the first Matrix
Oh, okay.
because I like the first Matrix. I
Yeah.
have no interest in any of the sequels, including that anime version that they did. But
Unfortunately, the anime version was probably the best thing they made after the first one.
true, true. But no, the first Matrix movie as a standalone just movie story, dude, it was great. It introduced the whole gun fu kind of thing that was really popular in the late '90s, early 2000s with the slow motion, kind of bending backward to avoid the bullets and the bullet trails and all that shit and everything.
Yep.
I mean, it gave young goth kids, a fashion plate for at least 5 years of wearing the leather and the sunglasses and shit. I mean, I guess that was a thing until Columbine, but whatever.
Right.
Which I guess probably would have been right around the same time. Now that I think about it,
Right
that's
around.
kind of fucked up. Anyway, but I remember, and I have a soft spot for it because I actually was working at a movie theater when that movie came out, and dude, it was huge. It was just such a phenomenon, and it's just one of those movies that I can sit and watch the first one, but subsequent ones not so much.
Yeah, I can even watch half of the second one,
Okay.
and then it just goes all downhill. And this most recent one is just a
I didn't even
steaming
watch it.
pile of trash.
Didn't
It's
even
the worst
give
thing
it.
ever.
I didn't even give the newest one a shot.
It may be the worst sequel I've ever seen.
Okay, well then I definitely won't be giving it a shot. I kind of checked out after the whole rave party in the cave.
Yeah.
That was kind of my. Okay, we've gone too far into the weird, but I don't know. I thought that the first one was enough. I didn't feel as though we need because it ended to where like no, the Matrix still existed, but Neo knew that he was the one
Hmm.
and everything. So like you could just kind of imagine like okay, the continuing adventures of Neo, and he like goes off and takes out the Matrix. We didn't have to actually see it, but then they
No.
tried to show it to us, and they got fucking weird. The Wachowski, well, I guess they're sisters now. They were the
Yep.
Wachowski brothers at the time, but whatever. They got so fucking weird with everything, and it just ruined all of it. But like, dude, the design and everything else, that movie was incredible. And yeah, they squandered it with the sequels, but I really do like the first one. So that's my number 8 is The Matrix.
Good pick. Good pick.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with 12 Monkeys for my number 7. Going
Okay.
kind of. I like the weird stuff. Like
So now,
the weirder the better.
Brad, I'm catching a theme from you here. So that's Brad Pitt and Bruce Willis. Now they did a show
Yes.
about that too, right?
Yep, you are correct.
Was that any
And
good?
that show was actually pretty good. Also, it kind of went on too long instead of getting canceled. That's Sci-Fi's problem is they try to draw things out too much instead of wrapping it up nicely.
Okay.
But yeah, the show was really good. But the movie was just awesome. And like you have no idea what the hell is going on at any given time. Like you don't know if he's actually a time traveler going back to try to
Or if he's just fucking
fix
nuts.
history. Yeah, or if he's just fucking crazy. Like
Yeah.
you still won't know when it's over.
Yeah.
So you got to
Which
kind of
I
use your
will-
imagination.
I will admit that's the part that like pissed me off. It's like I'm done with the movie and I'm like, damn it, I want to know like was he crazy or like was this real? And so I needed that closure. I needed that little bit of like finality, and I didn't get it there. But
No, you didn't.
no, I did not. Good pick. Good pick. So so now it's my number 7, correct?
It is.
Okay. My number 7 is Interstellar. With
I have not seen that. And
dude,
my friend told me I have to watch it.
it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So the long and short, Matthew McConaughey, they're living on Earth, and the long and short is Earth has a finite period of time left, and he goes on a mission to try and find an alternate Earth that humans can colonize and move to, and like it's just such a I don't want to spoil it for you because you really do need to watch it, but it's Christopher Nolan. It's probably one of Matthew McConaughey's I really dig Matthew McConaughey in this movie. There's so much human emotion mixed into this too. And the end, you just, I don't know. I don't know how to say it without. I don't want to spoil it, but the end.
You don't.
The end is both good and heartbreaking at the absolute same time.
Shut up.
So,
you're saying too much.
Okay, all right. Interstellar, check it out.
Okay.
Okay,
All
so
right.
it's what,
so
number
I'm on
6?
Number 6.
Okay.
Yep. And again, a movie that spawned numerous shows, and I enjoy every last bit of them, is Stargate.
Okay.
I watched that movie because I was like in my early teens when that came out.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like the next step of what was possible in movies.
Yeah.
It was like, what was it, like 95 or something like that. So they were just kind of discovering CG and this and that. And it was just spectacular. I loved all the characters. It was great.
Okay.
And I'm very interested in like ancient Egypt history, things like that. And, that kind of incorporated everything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Star Wars, but better.
Okay. Okay.
With more richness.
No, that's cool. I will freely admit, I've never seen it.
Oh my gosh, dude.
It's one that it just kind of came out. It came out, and I didn't see it then, and I've never actually watched Stargate. And I never
my whole list is going to be Nick Needs to Watch.
And I never watched the show either.
Holy crap,
with
dude.
MacGyver.
Yeah, that one was good, but
Yeah.
the other ones were better. Atlantis was even better.
Okay.
And then SG-1 was amazing, and it got canceled after like one season.
Okay.
But it was freaking awesome.
Okay. Well, you mentioned Star Wars, and so now
I did.
we're at my number 6, and this is where I am gonna say that one of my rules that I kind of imposed upon myself was I was only allowing myself to pick one movie from a franchise that had multiple. And so, of course, when we're talking sci-fi, I want good sci-fi. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Star Wars guy. I'm just not. I respect the fact that Star Wars really opened up a lot of doors for sci-fi. It was huge, made a lot of money and everything else, but it's just not. I like it fine, but I'm not like a big Star Wars guy. However, there's one Star Wars movie that, in my opinion, ranks heads and tails above all the rest, and is just an amazing movie, great character piece, and we get to see one of the most fucking badass Darth Vader scenes ever, and that's Star Wars Rogue One.
Yep.
Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie by far.
That was a contender for me as well.
And dude, you never see Darth Vader look as badass as he does at the end of that movie.
No, he's never badass except that movie.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, I'm sure back in the 70s and in the 80s, everybody was like, "Oh my God, Darth Vader," whatever. But when you see him in Rogue One and that in that black hallway just lights up red, and the lightsaber casts the shadows off of his helmet and uniform and everything. Oh my god! And he
Hell
just
yeah.
carves through those soldiers. I mean, it's unreal. So that part. It was a great movie. That part threw it over the edge for me and made Rogue One my favorite Star Wars movie by far ever. So yeah, my entry on this list from Star Wars is Star Wars Rogue One.
Okay,
Yep.
great choice. Fantastic choice.
Okay.
What are we down to? Number 5?
We are halfway through the list, and I am about halfway through the Ultra Q. Admittedly, I have had some wrapper issues. However, I think I'm getting very, very close to where the wrapper issues will end. So as long as it doesn't continue to split on me, I think I'm going to get to a solid smoking point at, unfortunately, probably near the end of the second third. The creaminess and the cedar have definitely stayed with it. I will say the strength kind of picked up a little bit, not a ton. It's still, I would say, a mild plus at this point. But it's not a particularly strong cigar. But it's good, and even with the wrapper issues, it is smoking well. So I got that going for me. What about you?
Nice, man. My cigar is freaking fantastic. This is my first one ever.
Okay.
First Heaven and Hell. My good friend Scott gave this to me.
So are you smoking the heaven or the hell?
It says Heaven
What?
and
Okay.
Hell.
So like, look at the band. The band on that
So
has
it
like,
must be Hell.
it has wings.
Because it's
So like
fire.
you have like bat wings or demon wings on it. Okay, because
Yep.
the other one has like angel wings.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the one, the angel wing one, that's a Connecticut. The one you've got, I believe, is maybe a sun-grown. I don't know. So
I don't know, but it is fantastic. It has a razor-tight burn line. It's freaking rock-solid construction.
dude,
It
I'll
was
say
a perfect cut when I cut it.
that's awesome. I'll say, even with my wrapper issue, my burn line is pretty straight. So, it's performing even under duress, So
You know what I'm wondering
nice.
on this other one, the Ultra Q thing?
What's that?
So the band, although it's super cool, it's almost like felt.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would absorb a lot of moisture from the cigar itself.
So what I suspect, because it feels very, very similar to the band that's on the Leaf by Oscar, okay?
Yep.
The band on the Leaf by Oscar is made of tobacco paper. So technically it's tobacco. You can burn it. I don't recommend it because it stinks like shit when you burn it, but you can burn it. I wonder if the paper on this is also tobacco paper, and I wonder if it could be burned. Now, I wouldn't recommend it because the foot band on this thing is fucking huge in order to have that picture of the king. So,
yeah, it's giant.
yeah, so you got to get that off. But look, it's possible that sitting in my humidor for 5 years, it like maybe adhered a little bit more. And you're right, maybe it absorbed. If it's tobacco paper, maybe it absorbs some moisture as well.
Possible.
Yep.
You never know.
So
Anyway, we're at number 5.
we
right?
are at number 5.
I'm going with Lord of the Rings. I couldn't pick just one because it's basically one huge movie. It's like the best
It really is.
continuation out of any trilogy ever,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Like one just flows right into the next one. You can just take a full day and watch the whole thing, and it feels like you watch one movie. But I'm just going to go with the first one because it was kind of mind-blowing, like the scale of the movie.
And that's where you got
the
to see
characters.
everybody for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were kind of familiar with them from the books and from watching the old Hobbit stuff in school. And, it's just really cool.
I did not think about those movies when I was assembling this list. That did not.
I'm telling you, man, I could have went.
That did not
I
even.
might have been able to list 100 movies.
That didn't even cross my mind, was to go down like that kind of a road. Interesting. Well, cool. I mean, they're fantastic movies. I have not seen the extended cuts.
That's the only way to watch them, dude. I'm telling you.
I don't have 2 days.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I might,
Sure you do.
Okay. So my number 5 is one that came out relatively recently, and it's Mad Max Fury Road with Tom Hardy.
Okay,
And
that's a good one.
dude, it's a fantastic movie. I just watched Furiosa not too long ago. Also, really good. But you do, I think you do have to have watched, well, you don't have to have watched Fury Road. I think you get a lot more out of it if you do.
Yeah.
But oh fuck, man, Fury Road is just it's such a simple premise of a movie. Basically like Furiosa's breaking out with the brides of the bad guy. I can't remember his name. It's like something Joe, and she's got the war rig, and she's just having to escape, and she comes across Mad Max, and he joins up with him, and basically it's one giant long chase movie. Like everybody's chasing after him, trying to take him out, and it's just one giant long chase movie, and it's just awesome. It's just the most badass, post-apocalyptic kind of. It's so much fun, so much fun. So I liked Fury Road.
It was a good one. It's an awesome movie to watch in surround sound.
Okay.
It's spectacular.
All right.
That's what I like the most about it is the soundtrack of the movie.
Okay.
It's very good. It's crazy because there's shit happening all around you at all times.
Interesting.
And like when the motors just rev up and come up behind you, it's crazy.
Cool.
Love it.
All right. Well, it had
that one
that
did not
dude,
make my list though.
It had that dude playing the freaking guitar, like up on the thing on the car. Like it's like you're just driving along on this giant thing, and there's some dude just shredding on a guitar like behind you. It's so fucking wacky,
Yes,
So-
my friend Jason, I think that's one of his probably top 3 movies if I had to guess.
Okay. All right. So what's your number 4?
Number 4, I think was actually an honorable mention on my action movies, but it fits into this list much better, and it is a newer movie, Ready Player One.
Okay.
I love that movie. I've watched it probably 10 times, and I can just keep watching it.
Yeah.
It's great. And it could totally happen. It's not even like it's science fiction, really. It's all VR.
Dude,
It's a VR video game.
I know, and when I was kind of prompting myself looking at different sci-fi movies online to help me kind of get the gray matter working to figure out this list, one of the movies that kind of kept coming up was Idiocracy. And I'm like, boy,
me
there's
too.
a movie that definitely could be, reality, and arguably is. So, it's freaking messed up. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I love that movie, and I hope they make another one. It's great. I saw that they are actually
Another
making,
Idiocracy?
No. The Ready
Oh,
Player
Ready Player One. Well, they had a book, so it's Ready Player Two. Is a book that came out. So I mean, there is a novel to correspond, or for them to adapt if they so choose.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I also saw that they're creating the game, where you can go play that.
Oh shit.
In VR, so it's coming to reality.
Oh shit. Mm-hmm. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we come up with these dystopian futures and then embrace them by actually doing the things that
I know, I'm surprised there's not T-Rexes running around already.
Well, dude, I mean,
I'm sure there could have been.
Probably. I mean, there's the whole point of Terminator was Skynet, and yet here we are embracing AI like nobody's business. So I don't know. Okay. So my number 4. Speaking of, I guess, things that potentially could come to pass if so choose, is the original RoboCop.
I was kicking that one around a lot too.
Love that movie. There's so much messaging just buried in that movie. I love the I'd buy that for $1, guy.
Yeah.
Oop. Hang on. Oh, okay. I was getting a call, but thankfully it didn't do anything. But Yeah, so it's just such a good movie. But when you really boil down RoboCop, what it really comes down to is what does it mean to be human, you know?
Yep.
And over the course of the movie, Murphy has to kind of come to grips with that. And so anyway, I don't know. It's a fantastic movie. I dig it. Didn't dig the sequels, and I definitely did
No.
not dig the remake.
I never watched that. I like that actor guy that was in it.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. But it's all about that first one. It's all about that
Yep.
first one. So anyway,
Absolutely.
yep. So
All right, number 3.
I want to say it's now top 3 time. So
Top 3. Here's the big 3. These are kind of the ones that probably won't ever change for me. Number 3 is Back to the Future 2.
Okay.
One of the earliest movies I remember. You have the hoverboard, you have time travel, you have humor, you have freaking everything.
And you have the dark aspect of time travel, where
Yes.
he changed something and he had to fix it and all that. Now, okay, I'm going to go ahead and say my number 3 since this is relevant. My number 3 is the original Back to the Future.
Okay.
And I went with that one solely because, again, sticking with my personal rule of one per franchise kind of deal, I figured that was the one that kind of introduced all the concepts. It's the most self-contained for the most part. I mean, yeah, it does have the kind of cliffhanger at the end about, it's your kids, Marty. We got to do something about your kids. But, by and large, it's a fairly self-contained movie, if it needed to be. And it was just, it's such a good movie. And let's be real, the whole point of the movie is going back in time to have sex with your mom.
So that's why you like it.
No, I was trying to get a reaction out of you, and you didn't bite. I'll give you credit for that. You didn't bite. So I do often wonder,
to figure you out.
I do often wonder, how when he comes back to 1985, are his parents like, "Hey, you look just like that guy that your mom tried to bone at prom." It's like you look just like Calvin. And yeah, it's a very interesting thing. You would think that would be. I mean, this is literally the dude that got the two of you together. You would think that his parents would kind of remember this random kid that showed up for a week and caused all this chaos and got them together and then disappeared.
I even like part 3 a lot.
I do too.
Probably 2 stands out a little more. It was probably the first one I watched.
Yeah.
It's part 2, if I had to guess, is why I like it so much. But I love part 3 also. It's great, and a lot of people crap on that one.
Look, they all go together. That's the thing about those movies. It's kind of like you talking about Lord of the Rings. They all flow together really, really well, and you can't have one without the other. And the thing about part 3, yeah, it's back in the olden times, the Western and everything. But we went to the 50s. We went to the future. Why not go back further in the past, And that was back when Mary Steenburgen was still a smoke show.
Oh, yes.
So it's hey, there you go. So, yeah, I'm all good with that one. I liked it.
Yeah, man.
Hell, I liked
choices.
the animated series.
I forgot all about that.
Dude, the Back to the Future animated series is amazing. And I'm pretty sure, I think Christopher Lloyd voiced himself. I don't know if Michael J. Fox did, but I'm pretty sure Christopher Lloyd voiced himself. So.
Well, all right. I'll have to find that somewhere to watch.
It's a good one. Anyway, what's your number 2?
Number 2 is actually one of yours that you have already talked about, the Matrix one.
Okay.
It's great. It was super innovative. It just was flat out badass. You were waiting for the build up for Neo to just wreck shop, and then he did.
You know what I mean? Just freaking went bananas. And
yeah, they should have just called it there and been done.
Yep.
But I understand,
Dude, it made
They
money.
could've-
I get it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, even the story you could have kept going. They just did not know what to do with it,
They really didn't.
which is a big problem.
They got fucking weird, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
They got weird. And it kind of like personified in their personal lives to some degree, but like, you know, but no, in terms of like their story, it just got weird, and it didn't need to, but it did. So,
Yep.
yeah, no, I'm with you. Okay, so my number 2, again, the only entry from a series. I had to pick one. When I looked at it, this one just stands out heads and just above everything. There's one that is a personal favorite of mine, but then there's one that I have to admit is still a superior movie, and that's the one I'm going with. I'm going with Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
I thought that would be in the top 3.
It is in the
Of your
top 3.
list.
It's my number
Yep.
2. Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, Undiscovered Country was the first one that I saw in the theater. That's Star Trek 6. I love Undiscovered Country. The political intrigue of, you know, who beamed over and killed the Klingon ambassador and all the chancellor and all that, and them having to figure it out, and then they've got this like conspiracy within Starfleet to keep the war going and to crush the Klingons and not promote peace, and that movie is such a allegory for the end of the Cold War. It's ridiculous, you know.
Yeah.
There's so much going on in Star Trek 6, but Star Trek 2 is just it's just a better movie. I mean, it reset the series because Star Trek the Motion Picture was a fart in church. I mean, that was the most boring fucking thing. It was too much like 2001: A Space Odyssey and not enough like Star Wars. And they went with the long sprawling like colored light and those fucking pastel covered jumpsuits and McCoy having
Yes.
the beard and the freaking like disco chain thing going on. It's like, what the fuck is this?
It was really bad.
It was bad. It was just bad. But Star Trek 2, man, they brought back the kind of military aspect to Starfleet. You know, they had the red uniforms with the black pants, and they had the, you know, Kirk's an admiral, and then you find, you know, get to, he's dealing with Khan, and you know, and what's cool about that was like you got to see the ramification of a decision he made back in an episode from the 60s. You know, it's like this is like they are diving into their own history of pulling something from one of the shows to like make a movie out of. And come on, tell me that a cooler pair just chewing up the scenery, just chewing up the screen, and just being two big fucking overactors between William Shatner and Ricardo Montalban as Khan. I mean, it's amazing, you know? When you pair Shatner with somebody who can just really just go nuts, he shines. I mean, that's why I love Boston Legal so much, is you have Shatner with James Spader. That is like an amazing combination of actors right there, you know? And,
Yep.
you know...
Spader's in Stargate, just so you know.
Oh, okay. But no, so I'm just saying, Star Trek 2, while I have a very personal soft spot in my heart for Undiscovered Country, Wrath of Khan is my favorite Star Trek movie by far, and I had to go with it. And dude, and come on, anybody who's into this, you have to, like, I don't know, maybe not everybody, but like, if you're a Star Trek person, there's no way you got through the whole, like, Spock dying to save everybody, you know, scene and not, like, been like, oh, God, it's Spock died, you know, and all. I mean, it's just, it's tragic, you know? So, I loved it. Star Trek 2 is my pick for number 2.
Okay, I'm down to my number 1.
So am I, and I bet you're wondering what that is.
I am, actually. I'm not sure where you're going to go. But,
You're going to be,
my number
I
one-
think you're going to be surprised.
okay, let me guess before.
Okay, all right. Well,
Before you
what's your number 1?
I almost went with Rogue One because out of these movies, it is the best one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Force Awakens was pretty good, but the first
Is that
Star
the second? No, wait, that's 7, right?
that's Yeah, that's 7.
Okay, yeah.
So it kind of woke the franchise back up.
But it was just a rehash of 4.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
But the one I picked was the first one I ever saw. This is the movie that made me like sci-fi.
Okay.
It was Return of the Jedi. And I like more positive movies.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people like Empire, but that is not a positive movie.
No,
whatsoever.
it's not. I mean, I love Empire. It's probably my favorite of the original trilogy. However, I do acknowledge that it is a middle piece. It does not have conclusion to it. It is not a happy movie,
Yeah.
So no, Empire.
It's a bridge.
It's a fantastic movie, but it's not one that I would say like, oh my God, you gotta, if you're gonna ever watch a Star Wars movie, watch that. I wouldn't say that.
Yep, but out of all of them that could have been better with more content, I think it would have been Return of the Jedi. Because who didn't want to see Luke trained to be the badass Jedi Knight? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wearing all black. I mean, come on, dude.
Well, and I still say, and I understand why he did it. Lucas, made a decision that, he needed to make sure that, the next group of kids was served because he needed to continue to get new fans. So that's why he went with the Ewoks, but I still say they should have gone with that planet full of Wookiees like they originally planned. I think that would have been so much cooler.
Well, in theory, yes, but also you're talking about 1983, right?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to have 100 Wookiees on screen and look cool, doing cool things? Like, you need help. Like, that's not really a feasible physical special effect.
I know, but dude, they did it with Ewoks.
Yeah, because they were all little people, throwing rocks and whatnot.
Yeah.
You can't be having, like, you would expect, like, all the Wookiees to be having laser blasters and big, awesome guns and stuff. Like, I don't think they could have pulled it off.
I don't know. I kind of would have been all right.
Personal opinion.
With the Wookiees having, more primitive weaponry on their home planet. But I don't know. No, I get it. I get it. Well, look, the only thing I'll say about the original trilogy is I wish they would stop dicking with it. Because, when they swapped out the one actor for Hayden Christensen with the Force Ghost and everything, it's like, dude,
awful.
just stop. Please, just stop. But I guess on the flip side, maybe some people are happy there's continuity. Whatever. Anyway. Okay. Well, so you're going to try and guess my number 1?
Yep.
Okay. I'll let you guess.
I have no idea. I'm just going to say, I know this is not your number 1 movie, probably. Actually, you know what? I am going to make a legitimate guess.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Terminator 2.
You are incorrect.
Okay. My other guess that I was going to throw out there that I thought of earlier in our list that I wish I would have thought of before is Groundhog's Day.
Oh, fuck. I wouldn't have even thought of that as sci-fi, but you know what? I could make a good argument for that. That is a phenomenal movie.
That would have definitely been on my list.
Have you seen the internet theory about how Ned Ryerson, the insurance agent, is actually the devil?
No.
Look that up. That basically Ned Ryerson is the devil, is the one who's caught Bill Murray in this trap. And it was after Ned Ryerson got Bill Murray to buy an insurance policy and thus sign the paper. What did he sign?
That's true.
That all of a sudden everything got opened back up.
There we go.
So, yeah. So maybe it was all the devil trying to get Bill Murray's soul the whole time.
Could have been.
I'm just saying. I like these weird internet theories. No, you will never guess my first one, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there.
Okay.
It's WALL-E.
Okay, that's a good movie.
WALL-E, the Pixar movie WALL-E. It's such an amazing movie. The first 20 minutes of this movie, there's no dialogue at all. You're just in love with this little robot all by himself. He's tasked with compacting and taking care of all the garbage on the planet, and he's the last one left, and this and that and whatever. And then he finally finds this little plant, And then he meets, Evie and, gets on the ship. And we find out that the humans that are left, they basically trashed the planet. And they got fucking super fat and lazy and whatever. And they had to, like, make changes and adjustments. And so there's some warnings to it, from us. And but it's love and everything. It's just such an awesome movie. And so I had to go with Wall-E as my favorite sci-fi movie.
Yeah, and that's one that is probably not going to be sci-fi one day. It's going to be reality.
It's possible.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't doubt it.
So that's our list. Some really good quality stuff there. And you know what? What's fun about this? You and I barely overlapped.
Oh, I know. I didn't think we would.
Yeah, I mean,
I know that my taste is like kind of out there, and I could have went a lot weirder.
We barely.
But I tried to stay.
But there were a few
balanced.
that, like, that were close. Like you had Back to the Future 2, I had Back to the Future. We both had The Matrix. I could, had I thought of it, Lord of the Rings could have easily popped onto mine. But yeah, aside from that, we really didn't cross over. So, okay, let's get into the honorable mentions now. But before we do, I'm in the final third of this Ultra Q. I had another little wrapper tear that developed when I took off the actual, like, band, with the branding on it. So, man, the wrapper on this thing is super fragile. And I don't know if that's from me and the way I stored these, or if maybe it's always been this way or what. But super, super fragile wrapper. But even with that, it's still smoking really, really well. The strength on it has picked up. I'd say there's a little bit of pepper, hint, very, very light pepper that has crept into the smoking experience. But all in all, I mean, super good cigar. I dig it. It's nice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Hopefully my other ones don't break, because I do want to try it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do have more.
Yeah.
So if it does, just let me know.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm about halfway through mine, and this is a freaking fantastic cigar, man. I would buy this again, no questions asked. It's still got a super tight burn line. I have nothing bad to say. It's not super strong. Sometimes I like a super strong cigar, but this is very mellow.
Everybody hypes about the Leaf by Oscar, and they're all about the Leaf by Oscar. But I'll tell you what, Oscar puts out some really good other cigars that unfortunately I don't think they get nearly as much traction because everybody is so in love with the Leaf by Oscar. And it's one of those things that if you branch out and really try some of the other options from Oscar, there's some really good stuff. Like it's the Oscar Habano. I fucking love that cigar. Love that cigar. He's got the 2012 line. I think the 2012 Connecticut is the perfect cigar to give a brand new smoker. It's very light. It's a good example of a good cigar, and I mean I think that it's a perfect cigar to give a brand new smoker. The Heaven and Hell, I remember I did those on the show quite a while back, and actually fired up both of them at the same time, and smoked them kind of at the same time to kind of compare the two. I liked the one that you're smoking better, because it was more my flavor profile, but still, I mean, he makes some really great cigars.
I agree.
Okay.
I just used a gadget that I have not used before.
Okay.
The draw was getting a little bit tight on this.
Mm-hmm.
And in one of my lighters, I have a little pick / drill, like a little
draw tool kind of thing.
Yes, I just used that for the first time, and man, that made a world of difference.
There you go.
It's smoking like a freaking chimney now.
Love it. Love it. So, okay, honorable mention time. This is like an all Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report episode, but I knew that the Sci-Fi would go long, so that's why I started it kind of early. So.
Yep, they've been good to you. They deserve it.
I agree. Oh, dude, you have no idea. No idea. Look, you're not making Pulpit Fest, are you?
No, there's no way.
Dude, you have no idea what you're missing. By the way, along those lines, anybody who is going to Pulpit Fest, I'm going to reiterate what I said in Tuesday's show. If you are interested in putting in the raffle for the grand prize at Pulpit Fest, you're going to need to get on the ball with having a valid passport. If you do not have a valid passport, you're going to be scrambling if you're waiting until August. Like, go ahead and get that process going now. It's June. That buys you another, 2.5 months. In terms of turnaround time for passports right now, you're looking at about 4 months. You can expedite if you want, but, it costs, I think, like $80 or $85 to do that. I don't remember. But anyway, the long and short is don't wait. If you're interested in it, get your passport set up and ready. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, anyway.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, so honorable mention time, buddy.
All right. How do you want to do this?
You know what? We can just back and forth it again. So
Okay.
Mine aren't ranked. I'm just going to read down the list.
Yep, same here.
Okay.
The first one I have is Rogue One.
Okay.
Great Star Wars movie. Could have definitely been in the top 10, but I went with a classic.
That's fair. That's totally fair. My first one is Jurassic Park. I feel like the first Jurassic Park is still like unbeatable in terms of those movies, and it's just such a fun movie. I could watch that all day. I mean, Jurassic Park.
Good choice. That was also one of mine, so I won't mention that.
Okay.
My next one is kind of a lesser-known movie called Phantoms, and it's kind of one of those that veers a little bit off into the horror sci-fi, but not really.
I vaguely know that one.
It's got
I feel like I've seen
Rachel
it a long time ago.
Rachel McGowan and Ben Affleck's in it.
Okay.
Like this entity is like taking over these people and like killing them, and they think it's a serial killer, but it's not. It's like this demon thing.
Oh. Well, okay. So it's more sci-fi horror.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's not like scary.
Yeah.
So it's a horror premise, but it's more of a sci-fi movie, I would say.
Okay. My next honorable mention would be Mars Attacks. I fucking love Mars Attacks, dude.
That was going to be on my top 10, and I talked myself out of it.
I love that movie. I
do
love
too.
Mars Attacks so much. It barely squeaked off the list. But there's so much goofiness in that movie, and, Jack Nicholson is the president, and just, freaking Pierce Brosnan's head on a body of a dog, smoking a pipe. I mean, like, it's so... Wait, was he on the dog? No, it was...
Is it Jack Nicholson?
No, it was the chick from Sex and the City, right? Wasn't her head on the dog?
I don't remember, man. It's been some years.
Fuck. What's her name? Sarah Jessica Parker.
Okay.
Back when she was kind of good looking. So, anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
That she was.
Anyway, I love that movie. It's got that Tim Burton wackiness, and Mars Attacks is my next one.
Okay. My next one is The Highlander.
Oh, good
love The
movies.
Highlander.
Yep.
Love the show. Love everything about it. I was obsessed with Highlander when I was around 15 years old.
Yeah. Okay. Good movie. Sean Connery, no less.
Yep.
Okay, my next one is kind of an odd one, and I don't know if you're going to know it, but I'm going to throw it out there and we can discuss it. It's called Time After Time.
I don't know if I know that one.
Malcolm McDowell plays H.G. Wells, and he makes the time machine from the novel, The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, right?
Okay.
So he's got this time machine. Well, he tells his friend about it, and his friend just happens to be Jack the Ripper. And so Jack the Ripper gets the time machine and comes into the late 70s in, I think, L.A., and so H.G. Wells has to follow him into the future and stop him from killing people in L.A., including a young Mary Steenburgen.
That sounds pretty good.
Dude, it's a great movie, and for a kind of interesting premise, I really dig it. So Anyway,
Awesome, man. I'll have
so
to check that one out.
yeah, so time after
All
time.
right. My last one was Highlander. So this one is also kind of a sci-fi horror, but I really dig it. Newer movie, A Quiet Place.
Okay,
Freaking awesome movie.
I've seen the first one. I haven't
I
seen
love
any
both
of the
them,
others.
but
Well, there's a
the
third
first
one
one
coming
is the
out,
best.
right?
Right.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
the
I
first
haven't.
one's badass.
Yeah, yeah, the first one is really cool.
There's like no words in it. You know,
No, it's
it's
such a
that cool.
it's such an interesting movie that they had to like act basically silent, the whole time, and it's really neat. I dig it. John
I like it.
Krasinski,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, so my next one is Aliens, the sequel.
All right.
The Space Marines. I would say that I could make a solid argument. It's more of an action sci-fi, so that's why I kind of kept it off the list because it's like, whatever. But it's definitely. I mean, it's such an awesome movie. Yeah, it made my honorable mention list.
Well, good.
So
It should.
it's good.
All right. My next one is Minority Report.
You know what? I didn't consider that one.
That is a fantastic movie. Another one that could have been in my top 10.
Yeah, that is a really good movie.
Really badass movie, and it rewatches great today still. It's wonderful.
That was kind of in that period of time that I was kind of like, Tom Cruise, like.
Oh, I know everybody was.
He was in a bunch of shit there for a while, and like, I don't know.
Yeah, I came to the realization today that Tom Cruise just makes really fantastic movies, whether you like him or not. I don't think he's ever made a bad one.
Yeah. Okay. My next one is John Carpenter's The Thing.
You're gonna just punch me in the face, but I've never seen that movie.
Dude.
No.
That movie is awesome, and it's awesome because of the level of paranoia just imprinted through that whole freaking movie. So, do yourself a favor and check out The Thing. That's a good one.
I will.
That's a good one. That's your homework.
One of these days. Yep.
So,
okay, it's my homework.
That's your
We both have a lot of homework.
We do. We have a lot of homework. I end up with a lot of homework after these episodes. So.
Yep. All right. My next one is like way out of left field, and it's probably not even a good movie, but I love it because it was super interesting when I was a kid. Beastmaster.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But it's so cool, man. A dude that can like control animals, and it's kind of like Conan the Barbarian meets Dr. Dolittle.
Okay. I mean, I'll give you that one. I'm not sharing your love of it, but
Yeah, I don't blame you.
That's okay.
I don't think anybody should.
That's okay.
But it was on like WGN all the time.
Yeah.
So I would just watch it.
Was there a show about that too?
Yeah, the show was awesome. The show was way better. The show was really good.
Oh, God. So my next one is one that you did mention, and I don't. It's another one that just kind of squeaked off, but is Terminator 2: Judgment Day. I mean,
a lot of people, that's like their number one sci-fi movie.
Dude,
I don't get that myself.
Of the Terminator movies, I think it's the best Terminator movie.
Yeah, but all the other Terminator movies are kind of bad.
Well, the first one is pretty good. The first one and the second one. After the second one, it just goes downhill.
Yeah, it's just trash.
But of the two that we're talking about, the second one is far superior to the first one. So I had to put it on the honorable mentions. But yeah,
that's my brother's favorite movie of all time.
There's other movies that are better. That's why I kept it off the list.
Yep.
So
I agree.
Okay. All right. So what's your next one? Because I know
my next one.
I have 3 left. I don't know how many you got left, but
I got a lot.
Okay. All right.
And I can just like run through them quick. But
well, okay.
My next one 100% should have been in my top 10 because of how great of a movie it is. It just didn't fit within my personal taste of movies.
Okay.
But it's District 9. Just
that is
freaking
a good
awesome movie.
Yeah.
Like front to back, it deserves to be in the top 10 sci-fi movies. It's badass.
It is a good movie. I'll give you that. Sci-fi, like I was saying earlier, sci-fi is just such a broad genre, that like there's so many different ways you could go. Like I didn't have any Godzilla movies on my list, but like I love the 50s creature feature films, and stuff. And,
Yeah,
it's just, yeah, there's all kinds of ways this could have gone. But nope, District 9, good movie.
great movie.
So my next one on the honorable mention list is, speaking of creature features, we have Pacific Rim. Because
That
who
was a good
doesn't
one.
want to watch giant robots just beat the shit out of kaiju,
Yep. Also, probably the best surround sound movie ever made.
Okay.
It's just freaking nuts.
Okay.
Next time you're down, we'll just play some of it and you'll see.
Awesome. Excellent. So what's your next one?
My next one was Mars Attacks, but we're skipping that one.
Mars Attacks,
Going
great
straight
movie.
into Starship Troopers.
Yeah,
Love that movie.
it's a good movie.
Freaking badass. It was the resurrection of Neil Patrick Harris.
There was a lot of political commentary in that movie as well.
Yes,
I think
there
that was also a Paul Verhoeven movie, right?
That I don't know.
Because I'm pretty sure he did RoboCop. So, I think I don't know. I could Google it, but whatever.
Nah.
Anyway, my next one is one that I've only seen. I think I've seen it twice, and it just freaks the shit out of me. And so like I like it for the fact that it is so like visceral, but like it's been a while since I've seen it, so I might be remembering it as maybe better and more scary than it actually is. But Event Horizon.
Oh, that was a great movie.
Okay, all right.
I almost wrote that down, but I couldn't remember enough of it to justify it. But I do remember it was a wonderful movie.
Scary as shit, dude.
Yes.
So, yeah. But no, as a good sci-fi horror flick, that's a good one.
Oh, yes.
So, I remember seeing that in the theater, and I was probably way too young to see that in the theater.
Probably so, because you're a little younger than I am. So, what would you, like 10 or 12?
When did that come out?
When it came out? 96?
I would have been about 15.
Okay.
So
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe I wasn't. But I do remember it freaked the shit out of me. 14 going on 15, because that would have been like summer.
97 is when it came out.
Okay, then I would have been 15. So 15 going on 16 that fall. But yeah.
There we go.
Okay. All right,
So, yeah.
What's your next one?
All right, my next one is I Am Legend with Will Smith.
Dude, that movie breaks my heart when he has to, like, with his dog.
I know it.
Ah, fuck. I mean, you knew
Yeah,
it was
it is.
coming the whole movie through, you know?
Yep.
But, like, when it actually goes down, you're just like, fuck, you know? You just...
Yeah, why?
Why? I hated that. But, yeah.
I think that's one of his best movies.
It's a really good one.
He's made a lot of good movies and a couple bad ones, but that's probably my favorite. Besides Bad Boys, it's my favorite Will Smith movie.
Well, you know, I didn't put it on either list, but Independence Day was also one that was kind of rattling around, but it's just such a fucking cheesy flick.
Yeah, it's so cliche. Dude.
It is. So, like, that's why I didn't do it, but, like, oh, God, but it's a sci-fi, and it was super popular, so.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Yeah. So my last one on the honorable mention list is one that I have a very soft spot for. I love it. And I think it's one of the best Star Trek films, and that's Galaxy Quest.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, dude, it's so perfect. And it's so much fun. And there's Dwight from The Office playing like one of the goofy aliens in it, you know, and it's such a fun movie. And like I said, it's one of the best Star Trek movies when you actually, like, if you look at it through that lens.
Yep.
So, and Sigourney Weaver, once again, smoke show in that movie.
Definitely.
So, anyway.
So you're tapped out, huh?
I am tapped out. So at this point, it is all you, buddy.
All right. This is one that I watched recently, which is not a brand new movie, but Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise.
You know, I've
Again,
never seen it, and that's one that
that's a great movie.
I need to fix.
You do need to fix. It's a Groundhog type movie.
Yeah.
It's an over and over, but it's
No,
set
I'm aware
in,
of the premise. It's just I never got around to it.
Totally worth a watch.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
I'm going to skip around here a little bit, save a couple for last.
Okay.
The next one is The Island.
Good movie.
With yes, great. I can't remember his name.
Leonardo, right? No, I'm thinking of
No,
Shutter Island.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a different movie.
And
Okay.
Scarlett Johansson, one of her first movies.
All
wearing
right.
all white,
Oh,
which is great.
there you go.
But that's for different reasons. But it's an awesome movie. Another recent movie that just came out, The Creator. That was definitely worth a mention.
I don't know if I know that one.
Oh, it's good, dude. Like, it's like cybernetic, like AI people are taking over, you know?
Yeah.
Again, something that, you know, could definitely happen, but this guy's trying to save this kid who's like the savior or whatever, you know, that sort of premise, but super good. Definitely recommend.
All right.
Next one is kind of along the same lines of Beastmaster, but Kroll.
Kind of a Conan spin, you know, kind of ish. I believe that was also a Robert E. Howard creation, other than Conan.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, it was very cool, very imaginative movie.
Okay.
Like it. Next, I'm going to go with Harry Potter. The Goblet of Fire, the fourth one.
No, okay. Before we go any further, this is where I have to throw down my Harry Potter, like, you know, warning to you.
Okay.
I have not read past book 5, and I have not seen past movie 2.
Oh, man, they're really good.
I have not finished Harry Potter. I have managed to avoid all spoilers about how Harry Potter ends, with the exception of Snape kills Dumbledore, because everybody fucking knows that. But otherwise, I have avoided all spoilers for, I mean, we're probably talking 20 years at this point, you know? So at some point, Max will be old enough, and he and I will read Harry Potter, and I will finally figure out what happens at the end of that. But I have not read past book 5, and I have not watched after movie 2.
They're all good. I think 2 is probably my least favorite movie.
Okay.
It's still good. And we watched it all with our Max. He's now almost 16. So it's just a great family watch.
Okay.
You know, and you can't beat that.
Okay.
Whenever you can share movies with your kids, they're always better.
Definitely.
Okay. So the next one is In Time with Justin Timberlake.
I don't know that one.
It's a freaking awesome movie. Like, it's one of those that I need to rewatch, but I know there's a countdown to something.
Okay.
Like, you have to do a task or something, and you have a timer built into your forearm.
Yeah.
So you can buy time, you know what I mean? It's a currency.
Okay.
So, you know, I think it's keeping them alive. So they have to do their job to get more time added and so on. He's kind of trying to buck the system and break it and get out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an awesome movie, man.
Okay.
Very good. The next one I'm going to do, I think I only have 2 more left, is a new movie, Free Guy.
I saw the trailers, didn't see it, but...
Dude, it's badass.
Okay.
Super badass movie. It's newer, so I didn't put it in my top 10 because, you know, although I've seen it like 5 times with the kids, I haven't really watched it enough to put in my top 10.
Fair enough.
And then the last one is way out of left field. I'm going with Muppets from Outer Space.
Nice. See?
It's my favorite one just because it's so different. Disney did not touch it. It was a Jim Henson studio movie, if I'm not mistaken. Could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that's one of the ones that Disney could not touch.
Have you watched that Jim Henson documentary on Disney Plus?
Not yet.
You need to.
It's on my list.
It's truly amazing. So, it's a good one. So, all right. Well, I mean, that's the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, and an hour and 10 minutes after we got going with it. But I mean, it was. Look, I like these list episodes like this because it gives people ideas of things to watch based upon what they're interested in, and it gives me things to consider watching. So, no, I like doing these episodes.
Me too.
Okay, all right.
I can't wait till the superhero one.
Yeah,
Or
that
the
was
comic book one.
that was one rule I did throw down was no comic books on this one. Because again, I kind of feel like that's kind of become its own genre of its own, at this point.
Sorta.
And it's kind of different.
A lot of the ones that I would have picked probably wouldn't fit in with the superhero movie. So, they could have definitely fit in this list, but I'm saving them.
Okay. Well, I already did the fucking good coffee spot, so let's talk about the socials now. So I'm available on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. I'm on Facebook where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. You're going to want to get in on the fun there. It's where I make little announcements and things like that sometimes. Twitter/X, YouTube where you can watch this. And just a reminder, anybody going to Pulpit Fest, you're going to want to look into a passport. Trust me, you're going to want to look into a passport for yourself. I'm not shipping anybody anywhere from Pulpit Fest, so you're going to have some time, but get on the ball because if you win the prize, you're gonna need a passport. So anyway,
wow.
So, and then Dave, where can people follow you?
They can find me on Smokin' Butts and Tappin' Ash podcast on Facebook and Red Banana Art on Instagram/Facebook. And I've been kind of slacking on the Drawn to Barbecue, TikTok. So that's going to be picking back up because I've about wrapped all my projects up and I'm getting some more free time. So
there you go.
It's going to be dedicated to more of this sort of thing.
There you go. Fantastic. Final thought on the Ultra Q. I really did enjoy it, despite the wrapper tear issues. They really didn't impact the smoking that much at all. It's not like the wrapper went crazy and I was constantly battling it. It kind of held together well. The burn line on it was actually really straight, given the fact that I had these wrapper tears. I will say that the cedar taste held steady throughout. Now, that could be because it spent 5 years in a cedar-lined humidor, but also the little hint of pepper kind of crept into the final third. The smoking experience, I would say, very mild to start with, kind of picked up a little bit as the cigar went along, to where by the end, I'd say it was a light medium by the end. Maybe if you had one that was rolled recently, maybe it would be a little stronger. Maybe I've let these sit. I don't know. Who knows? But the long and short is I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good cigar. I'm sorry that your cap cracked and you didn't smoke it. But it sounds like you enjoyed your Heaven and Hell.
It's very good. I'm going to rate this cigar like I rate all my other ones. I would buy this again if I saw it in the store.
There you go. That's a ringing endorsement. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about for these guys.
That's right.
So, anyway.
I would spend my money on this cigar.
Perfect. That's all you can ask. Well, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. We kind of, like I said, threw on our nerd hat and talked sci-fi for a little while. But, I like doing these list episodes. So, and there's plenty more genres for us to do at some point. I think what have we done so far? We've done, I did gangster movies with Noah. I did horror movies with Brinker. You and I did action movies. I did Robert De Niro movies with Noah because, apparently he only watches one type of movie.
Yes, I realize that.
And then, and now Sci-Fi. So, the sky's the limit. We still have dramas. We still have comedies, comic books. There's plenty more genres. Documentaries will be a fun one to do at some point too. I don't know if I can possibly rank those though. I think that might be really hard to rank those. because
Yeah, you're probably right.
you're getting
You just got
something.
to do a top 10.
Yeah, you're getting something
Non-ranked.
different out of those. It's like it's not like you can say like, okay, here's 10 documentaries about the Civil War. Which one is the best one? It's like they're not all going to be about the same topic, so it's going to be hard to rank those, I think. But
Yep.
anyway, well, guys, this has been another. Well, thank you, Dave. I was getting ready to sign off. Thank you so much for taking time out of your evening. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Well, guys, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick.
I'm Dave.
Everybody stay safe and stay smoky. Thought I'd get a little bit more pushback from you on Wally.
Oh, no, man. I'm very open-minded. And you know what? We really didn't disagree on any movie.
We really didn't.
Both lists were pretty freaking solid.
Yeah, I would say that we really... I mean, you went with Back to the Future 2 versus my Back to the Future, but I mean, that's... But I could make a solid case
How
for
are you
Back
going
to
to argue
the
with
Future
that?
2.
I mean, yeah,
well, that's exactly it. I mean, I like Back to the Future 2. I just kind of went with the first one because I figured it kind of sets everything up. But yeah, no.
Yeah, now if we would have picked 3 over 1 and 2, that would have been...
Then we would have had some words, I think. But,
That's right.
But again,
I do have an announcement.
I do like 3. Oh, what's your announcement?
This is coming out Friday, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so tonight, all our local people here in Southern Illinois, I know it's local,
Yeah.
but I know that you do have quite a few listeners down this way. We are having a HERF at the Log Cabin Tavern in Marion, Illinois.
Okay.
Me and Scott will be there probably around 5-ish, and we're going to hang out for a few hours, try to record an episode. I don't know if that's doable, but
Okay.
maybe they're going to have live music, and we're just going to have a cigar and hang out.
Well, that sounds like a wonderful time. I have my son again this weekend, and so I will not be joining you. But that does sound like a fun time. Which I guess since we are making like last minute after the credit announcements, Easter egg announcements here. So this week, obviously the Tuesday episode came out a little later on Tuesday due to the fact that I did have my son a little extra time this past weekend. Given the fact that Father's Day is this upcoming weekend, which happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I do have my son again this weekend, and then obviously the weekend after is my regular weekend. So I have my son a lot this month, which I am not complaining about at all. But it is one of those things where I don't know. I'm trying desperately to get things kind of caught up a little bit. But I will say, be a little patient with me in terms of like when the episode drops. I always try to get it out by midnight Central Time on the specific day, that it's supposed to drop, be it Tuesday or Friday, to start the day. But, I will get it out on either Tuesday or Friday, but it may be a little later in the day if I have to actually record it that day. So we'll figure it out. But I just wanted to, let everybody know that I didn't forget. I just, I have priorities, and the kid comes first. So anyway, but thank you for the patience.
You're welcome.
There you go. All right, dude. Take it easy.
You too.